Exercise 4-3. In this exercise, we're going to create a pivot table. And the pivot table will compare the revenue by salesperson and product category. So let's get started. First, we go to the source data sheet, which has all of our data, which we're going to analyze in the pivot table. And then click anywhere in the source data, like here. Okay, click right in the source data. Don't click outside here on any of the blank cells, but click on any of the cells that belong to the source data worksheet. And then on the menu bar, click Insert. And here you'll see Pivot Table. Choose Pivot Table. And it asks you where is the table or range that will be the data source for your pivot table. Since you had previously clicked on one of the cells in the source data, it automatically picks up the correct source data, which is A1 colon D843 on the source data worksheet. So we don't need to fill that in anymore. It's been filled in for us. So we just click OK, create the pivot table in a new worksheet. So now we're in this new worksheet, and here on the left hand side you will see an area which says drop row fields, drop value fields. So basically we're going to build the pivot table dynamically, and we're just going to drag and drop fields where they belong. Another way to build the pivot table, which might be easier for people who are just starting out, is to just tick the field that you want on these checkboxes. So I'm just going to go ahead and tick it here. So for our pivot table, we want the salesperson to appear on the row. So I'm going to tick salesperson, and when I tick salesperson, you'll see that it automatically goes to the row labels down here, and on the report layout it also shows up on the row, and that's where we want it to go, so that's fine. The second field I'm going to click is category, so I tick category. Okay, now what happens is category also gets added to the row labels here and here, but where I really want category to go is here on the column fields. So over here in these areas, I'm going to click category and I'm going to drag it down to column labels here, and I let go, and now category shows up on the column and not on the row, and that's where I want it to be. And the last field we want is order amount, and I tick order amount. Order amount automatically goes into the values area, and the order amount is summed, and that's exactly what we want. So we want the order amount for the salesperson and the category to be added, and that's what the pivot table has done for us. So that's about it. And we could add a few rows up here. Okay, I'm going to add a few rows here. Right click and insert so that we could enter our pivot table report title. So this is the Pokfulam Garden Center, and this is the revenue by salesperson and product category for year 2014. And then we'll go ahead and merge and center. We'll increase the font size, and I'll make it bold. I'll even give it a background color here. And for these numbers on the pivot table, I'm going to format them in comma style up here. Okay, and for the table itself, if you notice under the Home tab, there's something called Format as Table. These are actually styles for pivot tables. So you could actually go through it and see which styles you might want to use for the pivot table. And I think I see a style here which looks attractive to me. It's also similar to my color scheme. And so this is the style that I'm going to use for my pivot table. And I'm going to go ahead and close this window here so that you can see my entire pivot table. Okay, and comma style. Okay, so that is exercise 4-3.